Da-da-da-da-da-da. Cheers. What's in this? Not alcohol, guys. Today I'm keeping it real short and I'm talking about a movie that is out, like way out. I am very late on this, and I know what you're thinking, you piece of shit. Stupid GarageBand. Why do I even, what does that even mean? What does that even mean, GarageBand? Whatever. I'm gonna shoot this audio with the shotgun mic audio, so let's just get right into Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 stars the same similar cast that we have been familiar with for the entire trilogy, and now they're back for a fourth installment. And here's the question that was on everyone's mind when the trailer came out and the announcement for the fourth movie was out, which was, why are we doing this? You know, a trilogy, you know, there's 3 movies. Trilogy, 3 movies. That's a direct translation in Latin. No one thought this movie should exist. No one thought that we needed a fourth movie, but here it is, and I am here to review it. So what are my thoughts and what's my consensus on Toy Story 4? Well, I enjoyed the damn heck out of it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really great. I thought that the entire cast that they brought into this movie that came back from the trilogy were all stellar. I think that there were some characters that I'll get into a little bit further ahead of this video, but from now, I think some of the returning characters in this movie really shined again as usual, and I think the chemistry that worked within the voice actors and just the story that they were able to tell with this fourth installment was really something special. Something that I really like about this franchise is that I feel like it ages along with its audience. It doesn't feel like it's something that was made when the first movie came out. It feels like a movie that's appropriate for the time now, for the kids and for the adults, I guess, now that grew up with these series of films. A lot of people are saying, and I would also agree, that, you know, the movie should have ended at a trilogy with Andy leaving the toys off with Bonnie and then going off to college, and that would have been a satisfying conclusion to the story. But if you have more story to tell and you can do it well and you're not just doing it for cash and money, which I'm sure that is a big reason why Disney said, hey, let's do this movie. But I think that if you have a movie like this with a story that can evolve with its audience, then you should make it. I think that if you have a story that you are willing to tell and willing to back it up with, you know, a great cast, with great writing, with a great message underlying, then why not make the movie? Because there are so many movies out there now that are soulless and that feel like they are just, you know, a stamp made by corporate leadership, and that you feel like it's just factory made to please audiences, but there's nothing really there substantially. But this movie feels very different. The premise of Toy Story 4 is that Woody is basically kind of lost in what his position is in all of this, since he was Andy's favorite toy, but he's no longer Bonnie's favorite toy, and I don't think he ever was. And he's starting to realize that this attachment that he feels to his owners, is it something that it was just about Andy, or was it just about pleasing whoever owns him? And he's starting to find out along the way that maybe his journey isn't just being someone's toy. Maybe it's a lot more. Maybe it's about finding himself. And I think that's something that we can all find very familiar, especially as adults growing up with these movies. We're trying to find our place in the world. We're trying to figure out what we're doing, and we're trying to help others without even knowing how to help ourselves. And that's kind of the introduction of Forky as a character, who is a manic depressant suicidal fork who Bonnie creates in her first day of kindergarten, I believe, in the movie. And he is trying to come to terms with what he is, and he doesn't think that he's a toy. He thinks he's a monstrosity, a creation only made to get soup into your mouth. And he's trying to find his place, and he's trying to figure it all out. And he's basically a baby that Woody has to nurture and has to keep in place and has to prevent him from jumping into the garbage can because he's trash. To keep it very short, I fucking hated the kids in this movie. They're just awful, but I think that's sort of the purpose. And it's not for you to hate kids. I don't hate kids. Kids in this movie, they're rejecting these toys and they're treating them like garbage. And through this movie, the message that, you know, toys are kind of disposable and that toys are forgotten in a way, and that there are lost toys in this movie that literally represent that. It's just this idea of what do we do when our purpose, or what we thought our purpose is completely thrown to the side, and the way that we're thinking about what our lives were set up to be, is it really that, or is there more? Woody is faced up against all of these big questions that he's had, is that everything that he's known, everything that he's grown up to be, it's all being questioned at this moment, because he's no longer the favorite, he's no longer in that position of leadership, and he doesn't feel like he really belongs in Bonnie's room. And so what does he do? Well, that's for you to decide and see when you watch the movie, because then I would kind of be getting into spoiler territory. And no, it's not like Woody and Buzz grab the Infinity Gauntlet and snap and all the toys disappear. It's not like that kind of spoiler, but it's just like, it's just for you to see and for you to have that satisfaction of viewing it yourself and getting your own idea, because I guarantee you will feel some sort of emotion when you watch this movie, because that is what Disney Pixar does. Disney Pixar will make you cry, and that's a guarantee from me to you. They won't hand you tissues, they won't hold your hand. Maybe they'll toss some money at you and let you wipe your tears with a 20, but that's pretty much the most they'll do. Hey, I made you cry, what are you gonna do about it? Grow up. And that's what this movie does. It's a kick in the ass, and it touches on very big themes like that, which I really appreciated, and it tells them in a very satisfying way. Although there are some flaws to the movie, like Buzz is kind of a throwaway character in this movie. Him as a character and kind of the end to this movie, you might feel some gripes here. You might feel like it wasn't satisfying in the way that it was included with a lot of the relationships between certain characters, and I think Buzz was kind of underutilized in this movie, although he was funny in his moments. I just feel like this was Woody's story to tell, and I feel like it really always has been, but it would have been nice to have Woody and Buzz interact a little bit more, because I feel like they were separated throughout this movie a little bit too much for my liking. So yeah, overall I give this movie a 9 out of 10 for sure. I really thought that this movie was near perfect. You would think that a successful trilogy where the movies have been damn near perfect in terms of critical score and storytelling and writing and voice acting, and you'd think that they would just be done at 3. But a fourth one comes in and says, hey, like, we still got more story to tell, and they do it well, and I can only applaud that. I can only say congratulations for pulling that off, and who knows, you know, I guess I gotta shut my mouth now and see what else they come out with. But that was Toy Story 4. Look out for Toy Story 5 and 6 and 7 and in the future, possibly. But let's just hope, you know, that there's some breathing time, and that these movies do continue to grow with us as the audience as we begin to figure out our stories to tell, and maybe we'll pass these movies on and pass on these messages to whoever our next generations are, if global warming doesn't wipe us all out. So, man, what a surprise. And yeah, I know this review is late, but it's short, so you're welcome. So, as always guys, I will see you later.